123 with a request that under Rule 256, the provisions of Rule 124 Sub-Rule 2 may be dispensed with, and I am allowed to move the resolution immediately.
You are allowed.
So I'll read the resolution. The Provincial Assembly of Sindh resolves as follows. Whereas Sindh is not merely an administrative and constituent unit, but one of the world's oldest living civilizations, the land of Mohenjo-daro, cradle of Indus civilization, the homeland of Shah Abdul Latif Bhitai, Sachal Sarmast, Abdullah Shah Ghazi, and Lal Shahbaz Qalandar, a province whose identity, language, and cultural continuity predate modern political boundaries and have endured invasions, empires, and colonial rule. And whereas throughout history, Sindh witnessed waves of conquest, yet its territorial, cultural, and civilizational unity remained intact. Invaders came and departed, but Sindh remained whole and undivided. And whereas Karachi, historically known as Kolachi, emerged from the soil of Sindh and evolved as its principal port, commercial heart, and gateway to the world, nurtured by the land, labor, and collective spirit of the people of Sindh, and despite serving as the first capital of Pakistan after independence in 1947, remained geographically, historically, and emotionally inseparable from Sindh. And whereas after a long constitutional democratic struggle, Sindh was separated from Bombay Presidency in 1936, restoring its distinct political identity, a milestone achieved through the sacrifices and political awakening of the people of Sindh. And whereas the Sindh Legislative Assembly holds the unique and historic distinction of being the first provincial legislature to pass the Pakistan Resolution of 3rd of March 1943 under the leadership of Sindh's elected representatives, reaffirming the demand for a separate homeland for the Muslims of the subcontinent, thereby demonstrating that Sindh stood at the forefront of Pakistan movement. And whereas this historical act reflects Sindh's foundational contribution to the creation of Pakistan, it is a matter of profound historic record that the very assembly which endorsed the vision of Pakistan cannot allow the fragmentation of its own historic homeland. And whereas the people of Sindh resisted the imposition of one unit scheme in 1955, which dissolved historic provinces into an artificial administrative structure, and whereas the restoration of Sindh in 1970 stands as enduring testimony to the unwavering resolve of its people to safeguard the province. And whereas the framers of the 1973 Constitution of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan reaffirmed the federal structure of the country and explicitly provided under Article 239 that no alteration of provincial boundaries shall take place without the consent of more than 2/3 members of the concerned provincial assembly. And whereas Sindh entered the federation as a historic and distinct unit and was the first province to pass the resolution in favor of Pakistan, reflecting its long-standing commitment to federalism, democracy, and national unity. And whereas the sons and daughters of Sindh, from Karachi to Keti Bandar, from Kashmir to Karunjhar, have collectively contributed to building Karachi into the economic engine of Pakistan, symbolizing unity in diversity rather than division. And whereas any attempt to divide Sindh, fragment its territory, or detach Karachi from Sindh is contrary to history, constitutional spirit, democratic norms, and deeply held sentiments of the people of Sindh, and would undermine national cohesion and federal compact. Now therefore this House unequivocally condemns and rejects any conspiracy aimed at division of Sindh or creation of separate province comprising Karachi, declares that Karachi is and shall forever remain an integral and inseparable part of Sindh. Reaffirms that the unity, territorial integrity, and history of Sindh are sacred trusts inherited from our forefathers and shall be defended through constitutional, democratic and political means. Calls upon political stakeholders to refrain from divisive rhetoric or actions that threaten provincial harmony and national cohesion. Resolves that this Assembly stands united beyond party lines in defense of Sindh's integrity, dignity and unbroken legacy. Directs the government to approach the federal government. Copy of this resolution to the President of Pakistan, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Chairman, Senate of Pakistan and the Speaker of National Assembly of Pakistan for record.